Good morning, everyone, and welcome to stream number 36 of Vectors and Pixels. Yeah, that's what we're called. I had to look just to make sure. Good morning. I'm starting a little early this morning because last night my internet provider coughed up a lot of blood, caused issues, and so I got to sleep last night. So I get to get up a little bit early, make sure everything's working, make sure everything's doing what it's supposed to be doing, and I thought, why hang out? I'll start a little early today. Now, it's going to catch a lot of you off guard. You're like, holy crap, he's starting right now. But, it gives me a chance to do a little bit more work on the Dragon. Plus, I have a couple of small announcements, which not everybody's going to be interested in. So I figured I'd do them earlier, get them out of the way, talk about it. And one of the things we're talking about is battle badges. That's right here. I have some good news, and I have some bad news. The bad news is that I originally went looking into doing plastic parts for the battle badges for the initial run. And the company that I reached out to, actually they reached out to me, which is really cool. They were going to charge, or they are going to charge, about $2,600 just to make the molds. That's not making parts or shipping parts or any of that. It's just making the molds. And so the bad news is that is definitely out of the scope of the project right now, unless it picks up. But I do have someone that can do that. That seems like a fairly reasonable price. The good news out of all that is that they were also reaching out originally about Scuttled. Yes, we haven't talked about Scuttled in a while now, have we? The price point on Scuttled was significant in that it made our costs fairly high, even if we were ordering 1,000 units. And so I reached out to this company. Well, like I said, they reached out to me, and I was talking to them about this project, told them what we were doing, told them the quality of the paper that we want, about the boxes and the rule books and how it was all going to be packaged and shipped. And they had a significantly better price. And I mean significantly. The problem is that their sample is a little pricey, but I'm going to get a sample, and we're going to check the quality of this company. And if they pass my inspection, because I do have very high standards for this product, I think that that is the first step to getting Scuttled back into the process of us trying to figure out how to produce it. The costs will come down significantly on our part, and we'll make it so that we don't have to ask for such a big number in our Kickstarter. That was a scary number. Let's face it. $35,000 is a scary number for people. And we did learn a lot of things about Kickstarter in general on what people, their expectations were and what they want to be a part of. $35,000 may not have been unreasonable, but I think for something we're like, hey, we're done, here we go. A lot of people were like, is it real? Is it not? So we learned some lessons there. But moving forward, we do have a lot of good news, unexpected good news. I was looking for one thing, got bad news on that one thing, ended up getting amazing news for another project. So project-wise, we're still in the works. And speaking of projects, and they're not over here on this board yet, we are going to be working on the ABCs of Adventure, which is a book. Little, like children's book kind of thing. I need to find a format and a publisher that I like for that, and I think I have an idea. We are going to work on the Grand Adventure, which is the comic book for Dungeon Notes, which is the story of the greatest adventure ever gone on by any adventurers ever. And the problem is that we as the readers will never know what that adventure is, because they're always going to be getting ready to go on the adventure, doing the things they need to get to go onto the adventure, finding the missing pieces so that they can go on the adventure. And the adventure itself is anthropomorphized in a map who's not going to be very helpful at all. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But prior to that is I've just got a few more notes to do, and we will have the third Dungeon Notes collection ready to go. It will not be ready for Tucson. So all of these projects, I think battle badges will be moved due to production issues. If we have a few units ready for Tucson, then I will take them to get people to play them and see how they feel about them. But I don't think I'm going to go into the grand production. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit that production deadline until Phoenix Fan Fusion. The ABCs, my goal is to get that ready for Phoenix Fan Fusion, as well as the third collection. The Grand Adventure is going to be a little more involved, and we're going to work on that here on this channel a little bit so that you guys can follow along, have some input, and have a good time. And speaking of input and having a good time, we do have a little Halloween dragon that we were working on. Like I said, I know I'm starting a little early today. We all need a little more of this. I'm sorry, I need to do that on screen. A little more of this. Good grief. I made the mistake. I was testing, and I had a slightly avocado color cup. And so I was drinking, and all I was seeing was this highlight right here. And then this background behind me. By the way, you like the background? This is the Brass City. This is the elemental plane of fire. I am sitting in the back of on the back of the DMG. Coffee. Hot too. It is, actually. And if you're old enough to understand that reference, God bless you for coming in this early. All right, so business out of the way. We talked about battle badges, maybe get pushed back a little bit. If we have some production run, some production pieces, we'll sell those at Tucson. But I'm not going to hold my breath. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit my production deadline. We'll see, because there's still things that need to be ordered and brought in, and I just don't think there's enough time. So we're going to push that out to Phoenix Fan Fusion. If we have a couple of samples that we can at least show people and play test the game, that'd be awesome. We might have a few pieces to sell. We'll see. ABCs of Adventure are going to be something that we're going to work on this channel and try to get ready for Phoenix Fan Fusion. The Grand Adventure will also definitely be something that we're going to work on this channel, but when it's going to be published is yet to be determined. And then, of course, the third collection of Dungeon Notes is something that we will be working on towards to get into the Phoenix Fan Fusion next time. In addition to that, the good news is that we found somebody who's quoted me a significantly better price for production on Scuttled, and so we're going to look into that and digest it, get some samples, and see if we can get Scuttled back onto Kickstarter so that you guys can order copies for yourself. I am following through with my promises to try to get a better price, try to get better production process, and that this is part of that. So just kind of let you guys FYI know what I'm up to. Now, having recapped all of that unnecessarily, let's go over to this little guy. When we last left our dragon, he was in a much better spot. We had done pumpkins, and we did a little bit of work on him, and after the and just before the stream closed down, just on a whim, I stuck these trees back here in the background, and it added a lot more depth, I think. I'm very happy with this general layout. I think there's a couple of things I want to mess with here. I think I want to make this little pumpkin here bigger. We're going to put some fireflies in here because people want some little fireflies, so we're going to do some firefly effects. But I think overall we're going to have to work on our dragon. And he definitely needs some love. We're going to do some lighting, we're going to do some shadowing, we're going to just do a little this, a little that, and see what happens. And I want to try a couple of ideas. I can paint on everything that I want to do by hand, that's not a problem. But there's also some layer techniques I want to do so that I can have some control. And we're going to try those first, just to see. Kind of get a feel. I know that this little piece right here where his neck and shoulders are, it's not going to be that color. It's going to be more of this orangey red color because it's totally going to be bathed in the light from whatever is here. We're going to do that, And then we're going to start working on the lighting from the moon, which I did a little off screen, a little work on his horns just because I wanted to see if this was going to work. Actually, I think I did it on screen. On screen, because I was in this screen when I did them. And you all were like, hey, we can't see you. Oops. Sorry. And this is why I need an online video editor. Alright, I'm here. We're going to work on this guy. I think we're going to be able to finish him up either in this session or the next session. So we do need to start thinking about other little things. One of the things I thought about, let's go back to this one, was, wow, that is, the lighting in here just blows everything out, is maybe this little guy is a sticker. As you can see, I've got a kind of an outline thinking about where he would be a sticker. Of course, I have to fix him because his little wing goes off this perforated page. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to do him up as a little sticker or maybe a keychain. Speaking of keychains, one of the other projects that we can do is that I have a thing called the Moon Joker. And I think he would make a really good keychain and t-shirt. So we'll work on production stuff a little bit too, just so you guys can see what that process is for those of you who are aspiring to do similar things. If you want to make t-shirts or keychains or you know, all these products that are now readily available to us, I will go through at least my process of doing them and even show you some of the companies that I use, some of the vendors that I use, so that you can try it yourself. I do not believe in gatekeeping. I am like, oh yes, I have this vendor, but I'm not going to tell you because you'll take all my business. No, you might. Who knows? But the point is that's not why I'm going to, you know, I'm not going to hold that back. If you have a better idea than me, you deserve to get it out there. And so I'm not going to gatekeep. I will share everything that I possibly can. I don't always have all the answers, but ask me questions, and I will do the best that I can to get you the answers to those questions. Ask me answers. Did I say ask me answers? I swear Alzheimer's is setting in. Ask me questions, and I will try to get you the answers. I don't always know them, but we can work towards them. I have friends who give me constant information all the time. That is wonderful. So please, if you want to know the way I'm doing things or why I'm doing them, just ask me. But anyway, back to the live action. Ta-da! Here we are. And yes, I know. Oh, light. It's the only way I can make this green screen work. I'm about that far from the screen. There's no room. And the light's coming in, natural light's coming in from the window over here. Clearly. It looks like I'm going to get radiation burns. But it's the only way I can make this really work well. And that's okay. It's a sacrifice. I'll be the pasty, ghosty artist. There's never been one of those before, right? Yes. I'm Jeff, the friendly artist. Kind of like Casper. Alright. Let's work on this little guy here. Where you know, something simple I can do. I've got these far pumpkins right here. I've got this guy already selected. So let's make him just a little bigger. Just kind of a little more size variation in the patch. That's better, I think. Anyway, do these guys actually scale? Okay, they do. Let's bring him up just a little bit. And I like him where he, size-wise, but we're going to move him just a little bit over there. Alright. Actually, I kind of like that layout a little bit better. It's a simple change. Let's do some fireflies. I'm not sure where I want to put said fireflies. Let's see, this is our midground. So let's start with the midground. Actually, fireflies. Let's do that. And for non-close-up pieces, for pieces that are in back, fireflies are just little glows, little modes. And I've done these before, but I'm going to do these from scratch just so you can see how I do it. And the way I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a gradient and then put like a little hot spot where the Firefly himself is. And if we wanted to draw one a little bit closer, then I'd do a little more detail, have some fun with the bug and his wings, you know, like right there or something. But I don't want to overdo. This is starting to get a little busy with what we're going on. We do have some room down here in these corners, but back through here, we don't need a whole lot more. And that's why I'm thinking we're going to spend a lot of our time on this dragon today. So let's do some fireflies, and we're going to do that by first make sure I've got the right thing, and we're going to do a radial, and this thing is always backwards, I swear. So we're going to start with just what I call off-the-shelf colors. And let's go out to this green here. That's a nice little green. Let's pull that in a little bit. Let's do something like that. Now, if I made a circle, it would just be the circle sitting there. And I can do different things to that circle, but what we're going to do is, I know that this color right here needs to be transparent, so we're going to drop that to 0. And I think that this color here needs to be at least 50. It may need to be less, but, and then I think this color needs to be a little more green. You want just a titch more green in there, because it's fireflies. All right, so that's our color. We are going to go to our oval tool. We're going to say we don't want an outline, so this is going to be blank. We're going to go to our oval tool, and we're going to just draw a circle. And that's not bad. It's a good color, I think. We'll play with it a little bit. That's not the size this guy's going to be. It's just where we're going to start. I think I was a little too hasty on the let's add green to the yellow. So let's go back to our color palette here. Thank you. And let's go ahead and warm up that yellow. We're going to add a little more to it to the center. Drag this over to here. And we're going to say that's cool. We're going to take this, we're going to get rid of it, we're going to make another one. There we go. That's a little better. What do you guys think about that? I know it's only Pountless Pirate Gaming watching me right now, which is awesome, but it also means you aren't sleeping, mate. Alright, so we got a good start for Firefly here. I am going to play around with it just a little bit so that this feather's a little bit better. I'm going to do that by adjusting. Right now the gradient is absolutely perfect to the circle, which is what you generally want. I'm going to bring it in just a hair. And that works for me. And then I'm going to take this piece and we're going to make it... Why, good morning, Breathing Karma. Yes, I jumped in here a little early. Messed with everybody. This is what happens when I get sleep. So, we're working on fireflies, just so you know, kind of messing around here. We're going to turn this into a symbol. I wonder what we're going to call it. Maybe we should call it Firefly. I'm so fly, I never land. That is my favorite Peter Pan shirt ever. Alright, so now we have this symbol. Now there's a couple of things I want to do with this. First, I'm going to play with the blending techniques because, well, yeah, we definitely don't want to multiply. Lighten's okay. Screen, not much of a change. Overlay, that's not what we want. Hard light, makes it a little, you know, it's kind of interesting, but not quite what I want. We may just leave this at normal. And this is just kind of like messing with the odds and ends in Photoshop. That's kind of cool. Additive might be what I want. It's like subtractive depth. Big black hole. Not what we want. Difference. Not really useful in this case. Invert. lack of color, so forth and so on. So let's go back to additive. And the reason I'm going to change this is because I'm going to take this glow and I'm going to insert it into another symbol so that the hot spot where the bug is won't be transparent to the background. Because the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to color effects and go to alpha and just a hint more, about 10% transparency. All right, now I'm going to change the color to pink and have a Zelda fairy. Well, it would definitely be a contrasting color. And you know what? Just cuz we can do a blue and we can do a pink. So because this is a fantasy world, we can do whatever we want. So here's the little guy I want to start with. All right, so put him there. All right, let's go down here just because it was fun to talk about. Let's see, let's make the center. So we're going to do a pink. I think we're going to go from a pink to when it transparent goes to transparent. I think we're going to go to a purple. So that means our hot spot. Let's think about this. Let's think about this. Let's think about this. Here's one of my favorite pinks right here. So let's bring that hot spot up. Let's say about there, and then we'll make this color that pink. That still should be at 50. Perfect. And then we will run. Let's take a purple. That's not a bad purple. That's not. What happened? Where'd you go? All right. I said purple. There we go. And you're going to be at 0. So let's bring this hot spot up just a little bit more. Let's bring that up to a little more white. Pink in here. Oh, that's a good pink. I love this gradient of pink. All right, just for funs and grins. All right, we're saying that's perfect. That's what we want. Oh, that's not bad. I kind of like that. Let's put that bad boy up here. All right, that's not bad at all. Let's move him over here. Let's make this one just a little bit bigger. Just so it's a fair comparison. Now let's do one in blue. Just cuz. That's not bad at all. So we're going to do the same thing, except I'm going to run this over to a blue that I like. We're going to run this one. Do I have, hang on. Okay, we'll do a blue thing. Do I have two things here? I have to, nope. Okay. Hey, that's not what I asked for. Stop it. Make this 50, and then we'll make this blue that I was asking for, and then we'll go to another. We're just doing what I call off-the-shelf blues. A nice dark blue like that. All right. I think this needs to be a little. There we go. Let's try that. And let's lay a blue one down, which, yeah, it's not half bad either. Not as fun as that pink one. All right. Chroma key. All right, we have 3 firefly colors here. Yeah, there's some pop in that bad boy, isn't there? that pink is holy snockers kind of pop. So, I mean, we can keep all 3 of these. I just want to have, a handful of little fireflies here and there. Traditionally, the green one is the one that I use for fireflies because, as a kid, that's what I caught. But you know what? That Zelda Fairy Pink is definitely a contrast color to everything that's going on in this scene. And, of course, the blue works, too. Not as well. I mean, I need to feather it in a little bit more and stuff. But pink's amazing. I'm going to put it to a vote. This is audience participation. This is part of one of the reasons I like doing this stream, is that everyone can have the say. And there's 3 of you in here right now. Yeah, I love that contrast. It's screaming. I might have to, include that into my Halloween here. But here are the options. We can do just one color, and then if so, what color? We can do all 3, or we can do 2. Now I think 2, because of the contrasting colors, would be weird, so the 3rd one kind of helps with that. But if we only had to do 1, those of you who are in here right now, which one would you do? Talk amongst yourselves. By the way, this insanity is fueled by coffee, and in the description of this video is the link to buymeacoffee.com/chainreaction. It's also there, in there. Really got to work on this. I have an explosion behind my head. What do you guys think? Oh, there's 4 of you in here. Welcome, 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 everyone. We have a color question. We're going to put fireflies into this piece. What color would that be? I say do all 3, but if we were only doing 1, then the yellow for fireflies would make the most sense. I agree, but man, that pink. That pink just... That's a spicy meatball right there. So, we have a vote for traditional, or all 3, mostly all 3. If you had to choose one color, what would it be? Yeah, pink's amazing with this background. We're going to have to do something with that in the future. I have to figure out how to use it. That symbol, and it'll be in the library, which is this thing behind my head here. And that way, if I ever want to, I can come reference that and pull it out of this piece and put it in whatever other piece I'm doing. So the pink is not going away. In fact, to that end, even though we may or may not be using the pink, I'm going to turn this into a symbol. We'll just call it Pink Fairy. So now, forever, it's right there. And it will get used, just we don't know how yet. And that pink, that's a surprising pink. That's for an off comment, man. That was a surprise. Just wow, what a nice contrast. All right, I mean, woo. Somebody has. Oh, thank you, Travis, for liking my stream. Thank you very much. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. So, what do you guys think? I've only heard from 1 of you. I know there's at least 4 of you in here breathing. Pink, blue, traditional, all 3. What do you guys want to do? While you're thinking of that, I'm going to take the blue and I'm going to work on the coloring. It's just not hitting the note that I want. That is different. Is that what I want? Make that a little more blue. Boy, is that a boring blue. Let's take this blue. Let's just do something with maybe add, yeah, let's add a little violet to that. Yeah, that works a little better. We do have to work on the, this though. I think that needs to be a little bit higher hotspot. I think it's a little more this way. Yeah. We're always going to end up with that. Alright. Yeah, just a little purple on that. So we're going to keep this guy too. We're going to call him Blue Fairy, just so we have them down the road. We can use them for any project we choose, because I can copy and paste like nobody's business. In fact, that's where those trees came from. I should really... Well, good morning, Lisa Lee. Dragon is looking good. Thank you very much. Now, let me put it to you, Lisa Lee, and others. We have 3 glowy things on the screen, a green one, a pink one, and a blue one. These are going to represent fireflies, fairies. Now, originally, I was just going to do this little guy right here, and do him as a firefly and do a hotspot, do all the little things that I do. But then Breathing Karma had to come up with the idea of do a pink fairy, and then it can be like Zelda. And I was like, all right, let's give it a whirl. Is what happened. That sucker is just the contrast and the pop off of that was like, wow. And then I did a blue one just for doing a blue one. So the question to the group is, do we do just the green one? Do we do just a pink one or just a blue one? Or do we do them all? Now, Breathing Karma, who's the one who came up with the pink, would love to see all three, but if we only chose one, then the yellow-green makes the most sense for fireflies. I'm putting it to the group as this is audience participation. We're definitely at that point now. What do you guys want to see? Do you want pinks? You like them all. Okay. We can do all. It would be interesting to do all. We can do the whole process through them all. So we have 2 votes. Out of the 4 or 5 people who are in here, we have 2 votes for use all 3. With a leaning towards if we only do one, do the tradition. I've heard from 2 out of 4 to 5 of you who are in this stream. I'm looking at you, Pantsless Pirates. And for those of you who are just watching, just hanging out, seeing what I'm up to, please feel free to leave a comment, to like, press that notification button, follow, jump up and down, whatever it takes. Sadie likes all 3. Okay, Sadie, you are definitely the voice of reason. I think we may be leaning towards, let's see if we can incorporate these colors into our Halloween night, because it is Halloween. And it's a it's a dragon. I mean, come on. It doesn't get any more fantasy than a baby dragon, which, the wings would be nice, but I think that would be a little complicated to get those in there. So, tell you what, I'm going to finish what I was going to do with this green one here. Sadie is the reason one. Well, with this group, off mess. She is the voice of reason. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish this one here up. So this has been turned into a brush, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to use my flash/animate foo, and we're going to call this green fairy. They're no longer fireflies. They're going to be little fairies. But they're going to be little bitty little fairies, so they might as well be fireflies. We're going to call this green fairy. I'm going to enter that, and it gives me this. And then I'm going to paste in center. That's supposed to be the center right there. It's over there. Paste. Maybe I said paste in place. Let's make sure I didn't do something silly. Paste in center. Closer. There we go. Now, this has the effect of being additive and just slightly transparent. But I don't want the center, where the little hot spot where the fairy or whatever it is in there, be that way. So, and these are going to be so small that we're not going to be able to see the silhouette of the character. So we're going to do this as a glow layer inside our symbol, and then I'm going to add a layer on top of that, insert a layer, and we're going to call this hotspot, just so we know what we're doing. And I'm going to lock this so I don't accidentally do anything with that, and then I'm going to get a color. I'm going to get a color, any color. Let's see, we got that, so let's do a little bit hotter than that. We may end up, and then all it's going to be is really just in here, but we need it a little bit bigger than that. 16, yeah. It's really hard to see. But it will be opaque. So let's see how it looks in scene. We're going to take this little guy here. That's our original glow. Now we're going to take the new one, hopefully, and it's got that little dot in it. So that's our hot spot. We can make that a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. I think it needs to be just a little bit smaller. So we're going to work on this on site. In position is what it's called. We're going to take this, and then we're going to take this, and we're going to bring this down just a little bit. These are very powerful little fireflies. Their glow is amazing. All right, and let's do that. And there we go. That's how you do. At least that's how I do my little traditional fireflies that are going to be in the background. That's going to be, you know, like maybe that at the biggest. And so that little hot spot's kind of important. Now we're going to do that to this one and this one. And I'll play around with this gradient just a little bit because I kind of like that purple fade in there. But we're going to work on this one next. We're going to make another symbol. We're going to call this the pink. Fairy. That name has already been taken because I did this one. Okay. Pink fairy brush. There. Can't argue with that. Problem is that now I need to go get myself the thing called Pink Fairy, which is over here in my library. Let's put that there. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. Now we're going to do the hotspot thing to it. So we're going to call this glow. Going to lock it and open up and put insert another layer. The fact that Sadie is the voice of reason is sad, but not unexpected. Let's face it. Now we're going to take the same color range that this yellow is, but now we're going to go over here and look for it in a really nice hot pink, I think. Yeah, and then the brush we said was a little, okay, that's 9. Let's see. Let's make that 7. Line it up with the center of the universe. And oh yeah, that's completely the wrong color. But it's a place to start. We might actually have to go white. I was really hoping to keep some of that color in there. Here we go. And then we're going to drag this bad boy over here. Of course, we're not going to be able to see it until we put it on screen. That's just not, yeah, I think we're going to have to go with white on that centerpiece there. I was really kind of hoping not to, but that's the way it is. Wait. Where is, did I not, oh, because I'm an idiot. That's why it didn't look right. Because that's not the brush. Let's put you back. We want Pink Fairy brush. Hang on. Let's zoom this up just a little bit. There it is. That's the one we really want. And let's put that one there. There's the highlight. Make this a little bit smaller. Yeah. Okay. So now we got a couple of nice little bright. Oh my goodness. Bright. That pink. Dude. That pink was a brilliant idea. Dude. Alright. Let's go to blue. Let's do the same thing to the blue. And let's make a blue fairy brush. And yes, you guys are going to probably see these things pop up in a lot of my future pieces of art. So just be warned. You're responsible. Alright, let's zoom in here just a little bit. Blink. Now, I did not set the different effects onto that glow for both the pink and this blue one. So, we know that we're going to go with an alpha of 90. And then we knew we were going to do, and it may not work for this one, we're going to say additive. See, that makes it a lot brighter. I'm a little concerned about that. So we're going to insert a layer here, lock this. Let's run this to the blue range. So we have a hotspot that's very similar. And then stick this sucker right here, ish, blink. Yeah, it doesn't look hot enough to me. Oops. There we go. Let's run this closer to white. There we go. And then let's stick this guy over here. Okay, that's not so bad. Let's make him smaller, just so we can see. All right, and then let's, actually this is a brush, so actually I can just fix this and say, hey! No, it's per case. So let's do this, V, go ahead and do you at a 10% transparency, do this at a additive, come back over to here, and that didn't hurt anything, so we're gonna get rid of those. And these are now our candidates, just so you guys know. Now, what is the thought? Do we want to do all three? We've got a lot of votes for all three, just want to confirm it. This is kind of what they're going to look like right now. I think I'm going to work on this gradient just a little bit. I said that before, but it didn't happen. Much of a difference, but we'll look. Yeah, it helps. Alrighty. Good morning for those of you who are just joining us. We started a little early. I started just around 9:30, 9:35, somewhere in there today, just so we can get the business of the day out of the way and kind of play around with this. Now we have some fireflies. I'm going to go with all three, and if you guys decide, nah, that's okay. We can make changes. So we have fireflies on a single layer right now. That's this layer, but it's going to be behind this layer. So let's make them smaller here. Maybe not quite so small. That's about, let's see. That's about the size they need to be. I think that the brush itself has a bit of an alpha to it. Do they need to be brighter? Maybe not. Let's see what happens when I say additive to the additive. He goes, meh, it's a gray background, don't care. Fine. Multiply? Nope, that doesn't work. Lighten? Not gonna work. Let's just say normal. Let's play around with these guys. I want to take this one though. We're gonna copy this bad boy right here. We're gonna go. Is this the grass? I think we want to go further up. Foreground grass. Yeah. Let's create a layer here. Fireflies, because there might be more than one. And let's paste in place and drag this boy down here. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's see how this looks. A little too much banding. That's a shame. But okay. I don't think it needs to be that big though. Gonna take another green. Put him up in the air, but we're gonna put him up in the air. Thank you. But we're gonna make him a little further back. That's why I don't draw the little buggies, because the far, far, far back ones you'll never see. And in this case, we're gonna go and stick him over here. You don't need too many of them. Oops. And we're gonna put a couple more of these. Now we got rid of the one, huh, didn't we? That's because I let go. Oh, no, wait, that's the wrong button. That's why I'm so used to the other button. All right. Had a few fireflies in there. What do you guys think about that? Not sure it flows quite right, but we're gonna mess with it a little bit here. No, definitely like him on that black. This might be a candidate for to draw a little buggy or something, but we'll see. All right, what do you guys think about that mess? That only had some color. There's some much needed color in here. I think we need a little more of the blue. Let me see what happens when I do this real fast. It's going to be right, yeah, it's going to be back behind this grass. I was kind of hoping to put a blue one right there. I might have to. Why, thank you, Sam, for liking the stream. We're going to copy this. We're going to find that mid-ground grass, which I think is, nope. I think it's the grass. We want to put one just in front of this. Slide a layer. We're going to drop this one here, but it's going to be bigger. So I can run this one a little higher. Oops. Let's run this one a little higher over here. Yeah. What do you guys think? Seeing something pop up over here. Oh, it's my chat. Duh. It's like, what is that I'm seeing? Because I'm catching out of the corner of my eye because I've got my main chat here, and then I'm seeing what you guys see when there's chat over here, and I'm like, what is that? What is that? I can't see. That's the chat when I forgot to put it over there. I need more coffee. Out of coffee. Well. And if you want to buy me a cup of coffee and help keep the caffeine generated art engine fueled, you can buy me a cup of coffee at buymeacupofcoffee.com/chainreaction. It's in the description as well as there. Right there. I always feel like I'm begging when I do that, but your donations have gone a long ways to improving my equipment. I mean, we've got this thing going on now. We've got me in the software world, and all the little things like that. People have donated wonderful. This green screen comes from Sam. He got that for me, along with a bunch of others he got, but he gave me this one. And so far, I'm liking it, even though it's the sunlight, which turns me into a pasty white ghost, which is appropriate for Halloween, but yeah. All right, so we're going to keep these right now. Everyone seems to really like this. We might add a few more here and there. I was originally going to do like vines and things from the pumpkins, which we could do, but I thought that was going to get a little too complicated. I think the fireflies are just enough little pop and don't make it too busy. It is definitely getting on the busier side. So background, I think we're going to leave alone for the moment until we come up with some brilliant idea like pink again. Pink fireflies. Dude, nice. Okay. Let's work with the lighting. I think one thing I want to do is I want to play around with the pumpkin first. There's an idea I want to do with the pumpkin. Kind of get some shadows in here. And I'm not sure how it's going to work. It'll probably be something I go, well, that was interesting, and move on. But we're going to give this a whirl. So we're going to lock down all these layers. And I'm going to find the pumpkin front. I believe it's midground, fireflies, grass, pumpkin inside, pumpkin front. And we're going to work on this. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the orange skin, and I'm going to put a symbol on top of it and make it black. And then I'm going to do a gradation across it from transparent black to darker black, and then I'll turn it into a brush and kind of play around with its opacity. We'll see, because we can see where the moon's coming from, so we know this will be the most transparent and this will be the most opaque down here. I don't think I'm going to go full on black with this. That's why I'm going to turn it into a brush, but let's play around with it. First things first, though. We have a mask. We have all kinds of cool things in here, so that's cool. What does our mask look like, just out of curiosity? Hey, perfect. I'm just going to steal that. I've already done the work once. Why do it again? Okay, cool. So, with that in mind, I'm going to insert a layer. I'm going to turn this back into that, and then we're going to paste in place this. That's perfect. We're going to call this shadow. And we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. We're going to make a color gradient, and we're going to do a linear gradient. Cute. We're going to go, for right now, we're going to go with, let's go with a really reddish, and I'm probably going to tweak this a little bit. It already knows what I want to do because it's keeping that at 0. Let's take this color, let's desaturate it a lot more than that and drag it down to a really dark color. Okay, now this one will be the mirror of that one. Okay, in theory. Let's see how this works. Okay, that's not bad. We'll have to play around with this a little bit. Let's take this option. We want it to point at the moon. That's our light source. And then I'm going to play around with this just a little bit. You know, I may not have to turn this into a brush. This kind of works as is. Let's make you 50. That way I can mess with that gradation just a little bit. There we go. That's what I want. Just a little bit. Boy, that went easier than I thought it was going to. I do want to put in some shadow lines along the ridges of the pumpkin, the gourd, and do that, and that'll be the next thing we'll do. But let's see how this looks in. Ooh, that's darker than I thought it was going to be. That's because of the effect I'm doing on the pumpkin out here, which is why I need to flip back and forth. Sort of what I want, not quite. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and take our shadow and let's go ahead and turn it into a brush, and that way I can play around with it a little bit here. Pumpkin main shadow, in case we do other secondary shadows. I'm going to take this brush, and now we're going to, whoops, not that. We're going to give it an alpha. We're going to bring it down to about 60%. What is the effect we're doing on this? Okay, so saturation and brightness. Let's bring the brightness back just a little bit. Let's bring the saturation up just a hair. Because this is the main one, so we want our colors to be here. It's okay for these others to be a little desaturated because they're further back into the environment. But now that we're starting to do some effects on this pumpkin, I think we want, let's see, no contrast, okay, so we just want to do this 37, let's do 30. Oh, let's make sure it's a negative 30. There we go. There's that. So our brightness is at negative 30, just to give it a little more darkness. The desaturation, let's also do it at negative 30. It's just a little bit more. That way we get a little bit more of that orange, and then I can go back to our brush, and I'm going to take off the transparency. And sort of does what I want it to do. I do have a highlight here, which is okay. I don't mind a little rim lighting. Let's go to the pumpkin. Let's go ahead and go to the main pumpkin itself. I think I call this layer the head. Yes. Well, that's funny. Let's go to the head, which is the pumpkin. All it is a head. How do I want to do this? I think what I want to do, I'm going to do another layer for the pumpkin. I'm going to grab all of the outlines. I'm going to go ahead and squish this all down. And let's put a layer. What is this layer here, by the way? What is it I'm showing here? This is an empty layer. Perfect. So we'll call this, that's the main shadow. We'll just call this shadow as well. Figure it out later. So let's go ahead and use this, and I'm going to paste this in place, and we're going to use these as a template. So we're going to just make them some obnoxious color, and we're going to hide that part of the pumpkin. And from this, I'm going to use another color, and we're going to draw where we want kind of the harder shadows to be. We're going to use this one as an experiment, because I may have to do this in a couple of ways, but alrighty. And then that really interesting brown that we did. Let's start with this. Oops. We in the right spot? Yeah, we are. It's just probably not closed. So we're gonna let's hide everything. I can see what's going on. Okay. Apparently I'm trying to fill a layer that, yeah, I was trying to fill a layer that I wasn't on. That's just so me. I am going to do a fake layer real quick. Probably add a shadow to this a little bit later. Let's see what this looks like real quick. Okay, so that's going to be a little too much of a shadow. That's good to know. B, hello, thank you. So let's bring this to more of a pumpkin color. Okay, that's red, that's not pumpkin color. Let's do this one. Let's see how this looks. Because remember, we're doing all kinds of weird effects, so it's going to cause our shadows and things to look a little weird. And so I'm going to have to play around with my colors. Let's do a desaturated version. Okay. There. And also, I don't think I want that to be so prominent. And we'll probably blur this a little bit, but let's see how this looks. Okay, that's a place to start. Not a great place, but it's a place to start. Let's go to here. Now I'm going to create a temporary layer because I've got to go through all these eyes and things here. And that's just would be difficult to try to do it on the actual layer. So, like I say, I want it here to here. And I transfer these a little bit later. And I know that this one's going to be a lot thinner. Still want just a little bit of a round. Okay, this also needs to come to there. This is going to be a lot thinner. Gonna do that. This one's going to be even thinner. I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to take these, come down to the shadow, paste in place, and hopefully I got them all fairly close. So let's do our fills. Oops. Alrighty, then we're going to take all pink, and then I'm going to draw a line, which will allow me to take out all the red. Those are our shadows. Let's see how this looks on the finished product. It's okay. Not where I want it. But it's a place to start. Oh! If you guys find my left nostril, just nail it to me. Alright. So we're going to go back in here and we're going to play around with these shadows. I think we're going to turn them into its own brush. Oh, good grief. And we're going to make them fairly faint so we can just play around. We just want to hint at the shadows there. We don't want them to take away from what we're doing. So, this layer is gone. We're not using it anymore. This layer is going to become a shadow layer of its own. So we're going to turn this into line shadows. Oh, I've got to do a Kleenex thing here. Excuse me. Occasionally, it just opens up and goes, and you guys don't need to be seeing a drippy artist. All right, so line shadows are there. We are going to mess with its properties, and this one we are going to do an alpha, and we're going to start at 50-ish. And see how this looks. Let's drive it down to about 30, just to see if we like it. I like that a little bit better. Now let's do the ultimate sin, because I know it's going to do bad things, but we're going to try it anyway. I'm going to add a filter of blur to soften it just a little bit. That's not horrible. There we go. What do you guys think? Coffee, but not out of tasty beverages. Ooh, great. I just grabbed one randomly. All right, so pumpkin's looking a little bit better. I think it needs a little texture love here. So we're gonna add some, what I call age spots and things, but we're gonna make the whole thing visible. Lock that one down, and then I have to decide what I want to do. Now I have a grunge brush that I've used in a dungeon note, so I'm gonna go grab it. Where did I use it? Did it in the mouth thing. So file, open. I'm gonna borrow that brush. It was called Now What? Entry Mouth. It's called Mouth, which is a dungeon note thing. But this is a green 2 grunge, and I really like it. So we're going to borrow it. This is it here. And then I'm going to make sure it's under the mask and under the shadows. Insert a layer. Oops. Come back here. Okay, cool. Let's just paste in the center. I know it's going to be too big. Grab this. It's a lot of texture. Hopefully it'll do what I want it to do. Just this green. So this is the main reason I want it is for this green. Kind of want to go green up. And then it should. Excuse me. You're under the mask, right? Oh, the mask is not locked. That's why. And then this is just a picture, if I remember correctly. So let's turn this into a brush so we can do things with it. We're going to call it grunge. And now that it's there, I can mess around with different effects and see what it looks like. So we don't want the texture to be obvious, you know, just don't want it in your face like that. I'm looking for something a little subtle, but I can lighten whatever, you know, I can make it a little more transparent. See, that's a little too subtle. I mean, get a little bit of in there, but it's not enough to pick up on print. So let's see what an overlay is. Definitely add some color, but I think that's too much. Okay, so let's just start with normal for now. Let's throw an alpha on it. It's right about there. Let's see what that looks like. So that's too much. So let's go back to this. Additive is not what I wanted. I think it was, oops, wrong one. Where am I? Okay, I turned something off. I hate it when I do this. No, no. Where'd it go? Hello? Ah, there we are. Okay, additive's not what I wanted. Overlay has a good effect as far as color goes. Let's look at screen to too light. Of course, I also have an alpha on there. So let's do additive. Let's bring the alpha up. Let's let's just see how it looks. Because what looks subtle here may not be over here. So see, I'm seeing a little bit of texture in the pumpkin. That's not so horrible, but not quite what I'm after. I want a little more than that. So let's do this. Let's come back over here and go, okay, that's way, way too much. We knew that. And then we're going to adjust it with an alpha. And then I think I'm going to add another transition here. Where is it? It's blend. Here's what I want. Let's add a blur, just a little. See how this is going to work. And for the moment, I guess that's going to work. We're going to do some other things. We're going to make this the grunge. And if I don't like it, I'll take it off later. So let's go ahead and add that in there. And then to the head, which is the main pumpkin body, we'll do a spot layer. And what that means is I'm going to take colors like this. And, ooh, I'm getting a YouTube notification. Unfortunately, for somebody called Puppet Nerds. I don't even follow anyone called Puppet Nerds, but okay. Moving on. We're going to go B. Let's bring down a slightly smaller brush, probably 3. That's too dark for there, but maybe not. Nope, too dark for there. Let's lighten this up a little bit. This is just not working for me. Right there. Wow. Wow. Lighter. Well, be that way. See if I care. It doesn't like it when you're trying to select colors from a locked layer. So we're going to come play around with it here. And a little age spots, what I call these. In fact, we're going to take that one, elongate it just a little bit. Ah, not like that. We're going to elongate this one and then rotate it. Oops. Rotate it into place. Narrow it up a little bit. Yeah, just add some spots. This is why it's on a separate layer, so that I can manipulate it like this. Yeah. Just a few. And we do little dots. Alright, so now we're going to come back over to here. And we'll grab, oh, I don't know. Oops. This color. Come back up to here. And we're going to take that and smooth the crap out of it for one. And I think we're going to take that color. Oh, too dark. That color. There we go. Just add a little personality to our pumpkin. We know he's in the grass through here, so we're going to have to be mindful. We're going to do some lighter colors over here. So let's, I don't know, well, one, I want to take this guy, kind of elongate him. There we go. Just so it's not so round. Let's take that color. Let's see how that looks over here. Just a little, like what I had in mind. Let's do, whoops, whoops. Let's take that color. No, still not right. Let's change our brush size. A little smaller. Yeah, work. But I don't like this color, so we're gonna go, hey, what's that color? Not the color I'm grabbing, because I'm on the wrong layer. Alrighty, gonna make this difficult for me. Well, that went away. You, discolor. What is it? It's trying to grab the gradient. So we want this to be lighter. Lighter than that. There we go. Just want something subtle. And we'll do a couple of just spots. Grass, but it's there. We know it's there. All right, let's see how this looks overall. We might have to adjust a few of these because we've got so many effects going on. It's not easy to see what is going on exactly. So like this one right here, it's way darker than I intended. It doesn't blend. This one's okay. It could be a little lighter, but this one definitely needs to be lighter. So, you need to get this one closer to the color around it. So, let's see if we can get... No, it didn't change much, did it? Yeah, it's not helpful. Starting to work in layers like this, it's getting a little bizarre. Okay, getting closer to what I'm after. How about you? A little bit closer. Being a little too conservative. Let's jump up here. There we go. Let's see how that looks. Doesn't matter what I'm going to do. That's going to turn out dark. So, I think we're just going to remove that particular one. Another reason like this. We just want a few little flecks here and there to add some texture to the pumpkin. Is it fascinating to watch this process? It's me fumbling around going, that didn't work, let's try something else. Nope, that didn't work, let's try something else. That's all this is. But thank you. I'm glad that this is entertaining. All right. I think the pumpkin is in a pretty good spot. And it's just not getting around to 11. So we got an hour to work on the dragon itself. I mean, we got some pops of color in here. Oh my god. Might have to put a pink over here just to balance this, but oh, I'm really liking this. Okay. Let me get a drink. What do you guys think? Might lighten the shadow transparency just a hair. So let's lock everything. You know, the grunge is there. That's that shadow, but the shadow we really want is this one. And this one has hello shadow. Thought we had alpha on that. Well, we didn't, we do now. See how this looks. Makes these pop out a lot more. But I like the warmth that this gives, so let's play around with these spots just a little bit. like that. Let's go back to spots. Looking good. All right, thank you. Getting there, getting there, getting there. I'm going to lighten this one up. I think it's the same colors. So let's lighten this one just a considerable amount. Let's see how this looks. All right, and then we're going to go, I'm going to elongate it just a little bit, make it really thin. There's that. And then let's go ahead and elongate this one just a little bit. All right, keep those dots there. Let's go back over to here. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Just a little texture to our pumpkin. A little bit of shadow. Maybe we could do the same thing. We could add a little bit of highlights, but I'm not going to worry about that too much because the moon is behind our little guy. So, to the same effect that we did the pumpkin with its shadow, I might do something very similar to our dragon, except for his eyes, because one of those eyes will be really bright. And then, for him being underlit, we'll do those as a separate piece and see what we can come up with. So let's experiment with the dragon. I'm going to go ahead and lock everything down. We're going to save our file, save all this progress. So this is where we're going to be. You know, he might make a cute little keychain, just him without the grass. We'll see. And of course we'd have to do something about those eyebrows, but let's, those are the toes. Here's the dragon head. So here's what we're going to work with right now. I have no idea. Oh, keychains, right? Okay. Well, hey, with that in mind, let's do something here. I just want to see how it would look because I think we would have the roundness of the pumpkin. So let's hide everything but the pumpkin. Okay, we want the toes. We want the pumpkin front, dragon head, dragon body, dragon inside. So that's what would be a keychain. That's what, you know, there would be an outline around that. So that's what it would look like to be a keychain. I don't think that's too horrible. I mean, once we're done with the dragon, because the dragon really doesn't work with the pumpkin right now very well, so we will figure it out. Boink. But that's the direction. Okay, so you like that. These and other oddities will be found at Phoenix Fan Fusion coming up, because I don't think I can get any of this made in time for Tucson. So let's go back to the dragon head. Will be an oh, nice! It will be an awesome key train. Thank you. And for those of you who just love Halloween, hopefully this will scratch that itch. Let's go to the dragon head. It's a symbol. I'm gonna open this symbol up. He's a lot brighter. And we're going to unlock everything because we want access to roughly everything. So we want, is that on a layer? Okay, that's on its own layer. That's on a layer. That's on a layer. So I just need these right here, I believe. We're going to grab everything that makes up our Durgan. Oops. Chin, teefies, teefy shadows, rough. Oops. I'm going to maybe zoom in on this. Alrighty, and then we want the inside of the nose. Alrighty, and then all of this will have to be below the eye so that those will pop for us. Sort of? Uh-oh. I'll have to figure this out here in a little bit. And I think the best way to do that that's going to be the way to do this. So make sure I've got this. We're going to go and copy this. It looks like we're going to take this all the way to the top. We're going to go shadow. And hope this works. Now we're going to lock everything but the shadow layer. Say paste in place, which makes this mess. Then we're going to go and turn this into this weird pink thing for now. Oh, dang, I missed a spot. All right. That's cool. We're going to hide this, and we're going to get that thing we missed. Missed that spot right there. Back to the top. And we're going to say, hey, paste in place. Yay. Because what I want to do is I want to do that. And now that I've done that, I should be able to take this and that out of here. Okay, so this is now going to be my shadow. If I remember correctly, nope, I don't have it here. We're going to make, we're going to do this, we're going to do a linear gradient, and hey, we've already got one here, we're happy with it. We're going to say, hey, boom. Off. Forgot to do that to this. So hang on. And so that's the only thing I can grab. So we're going to go haha this and then pink, pink. Okay. Definitely gives us some shadows. We're going to go F. Wow. Holy crap. So let's start over just a little bit. This gradient, turning that off, boom, boom, that's better. And then I put in the F, we know the moon's there, so we're going to torque it just a little bit towards the moon, tighten it up just a little bit. That's our gradient to start with. Let's see how he looks with that on over here. Because we're doing all kinds of weird things. I think once we lighten this up, this is going to be, I think this is going to work. I mean, clearly it's too dark on one side. That's okay. And then, of course, we have to lay down all the shadows like we did here for the lines for the pumpkin. You know, backside of the, kind of like we did here with the teeth. But overall, he's a lot darker than I thought he was going to be, but we can also adjust him too. But overall, I think we've got something here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to feather out the gradient just a little bit. I'm trying to do this the easier way. That's a lot better. He's desaturated a little bit more. If I remember correctly, we have him desaturated at the 35. Let's do this right way. Here we go. Let's bring him. Okay, so this is him overly saturated. This is him at 13, so I think 15 will be good. Whoops, negative 15. I think we'll be good. We'll have to do the same thing to the toes. And then that's what's going to make the underlighting really pop, I'm hoping. I might have to do that, create a special glow layer for the pumpkins here. But I think we're definitely in the right direction. Staring at it. You can only stare at it for so long, I know, but staring at it, trying to figure out what I want to do. Alright, so let's do some simple shadows. Just to see where we are. So we're going to lock that. So actually, let's unlock everything else. use my shapes that I've already created to create some shadows. So grab these lines, these lines, grab, oops, that line. No, I don't think I need those. There we go. Control C. Come down here to, where are we at? The head. Go paste in place. Turn them into a color I can see. And I think that's a good color there. So now we're going to go grab this color. Wow, that's bright. That is not the color I want. Let's do it this way. There's a difference between using the keyboard command for getting a color and using the square for getting a color. When you use the square to get the color, it'll be whatever the color is, regardless of what it is, that's underneath the eyedropper. But when you use the keyboard command, which is the eyedropper command, I in this case, it will get the gradient of it, and that's not always what you want. So let's go. You know, I'm suspicious here, because I know the nose is up here someplace, right? What's that nose? Got it. Okay, we'll deal with this here in a second. Let's go back to the head. Oops. Head. And I think this is a little dark. Okay. Not quite what I had in mind. Where are the teeth? Did not grab the teethies. Alright, so we'll just start this mess a little there. Grabbing the head. We also want the teeth, because they're going to be part of our shadow as well. Here we go. See? Why didn't it switch? Is that V? Grabbing that. There we go. Paste in place. Turn to red. Shift, shift. Didn't grab that one. That's interesting. Alright. I can work with this. I are smart. Actually, that one doesn't matter because we do want that. Alright, let's see if this is going to work. Not quite what I had in mind. Why? It's the way I've constructed things. Okay. Sort of. Okay, wrong color, but hey, at least we're making progress. There we go. Okay. Alright, at least that's progress. And then if I do it over here. There. Okay, so that's progress. And if I do that. Okay, that's a start. Now let's get this color correct. Ooh, way dark. Something's off in Paradise, let me tell you. There we go. Still might be a little dark, but it will do the job. is going on here? Is that just yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to show up in the print, so it doesn't matter. Let's back up here. Alright, and let's go back, and we're going to tweak the colors just a little bit. I think they're still too dark, even for a shadow. Let's come up to here. So if we get that one. I think that will work. Let's come back over to here. That's not too bad. It desaturates it, which is what I want. I think that's enough. So we're going to grab all these red lines, make them go away. Go back to here. Fit the whole thing in the window. And let's observe. Let go. Let go. There we go. He's a lot darker. And I'm concerned that when we print, he will be too dark. So we're going to run his saturation back. Let's just remove this effect for now. Now that we've got a shadow on there, yeah, we totally removed this desaturation, and we still got the feel of desaturation, which is cool. So now it means we can come up here to the shadow piece, which apparently is missing some chunks. Hey, what's going on here? Make sure that's what I want it to be. Yeah, that's what's going on. Okay. So let's unlock everybody. And let's grab B. Hello. I want that. Control C. Come up here to the shadow again. Let's lock it all into place. Let's paste in place. Okay, not quite what I had in mind, but that'll work. And then we will grab the shadow and twink. Except we want it not to be over the eyes, which is fine. We know how to fix that too. Grab this line right here. Oops. B. No. Oh, that's right. No. That one. There we go. I want to grab this line right here. Control C. Then we're going to go back up to the shadow. Lock everybody but the shadow. Paste in place. That make me continue to work on this. Alright, fine. And then we're going to get these two lines, because apparently it just can't work with this material. Back up here. Lock, unlock, show. This layer. Place. Get rid of that. Hide everything but this layer so I know what to get rid of. Okay, it looks like this tweaked just a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to show everything. Whoops, lock, show everything. And then we're going to take the shadow, turn it into a brush so that we have more control over it. Shadow, and the first thing we're going to do is put an alpha on it so it's not so stark. We still get the benefits of the shadow. There we go. We still get our colors. He's still a little desaturated because of the shadow, and I think it's going to still work. So far, so good. play around with this, let's start the first underlighting pass on him, which might change our shadows quite a bit. So I think we're going to start with this nose. This is a really good place to start. It's the bottom of this snout.
What is this? What's going on here? What are you? Make it go away.
What is that? Let's unlock everything. Everything's unlocked. Aha. Okay, that would be the shadow, so we're going to make that go. Oh, it's on the shadow. Aha! Well, that makes life easier. Everything but the shadow. Grab this color. Grab this color, put it there. Oh, it's a brush now, that's why. Grab this color. There we go. So now we can come back out here. And show everything. Lock everything. And hope everything works. Yay! Starting to get complex, isn't it? Woof! Alright. So we have the nose. That's that. There we want the head. We want the snout. And we want, in particular, this line right here. Well, let's just do 9, 9, 9. It's going to probably make me grab it in several sections, but we will get it figured out. Control C. And then we're going to go Control paste in place. And then we're going to make it red so we just know it's there. We don't need a lot of underlining from there. And I'm just going to throw a generic color on there. That's not what I had in mind. Stop that. You're going to be red. Be red. It's this one that's going to be the generic color. That's kind of a nice color. Let's go and throw that on. Nope, not bright enough. Let's brighten it up. Nope, still not bright enough. I know what I'm doing here, I swear. And what it is, I'm going to have to... No, actually, I want to keep that orange. Orangey yellow. What's going to happen, I think, is I'm going to have to take and bring this on top of the shadow layer, which is fine. We can do that. So while we're down here doing all this, let's create a layer. All the way top, insert a layer, Control paste in place. That's what we thought. I still need some work on this because I still need that. So hang on. That's because my fill doesn't want to go all the way into there. So I want to make sure it gets all the way in there. Now we're going to grab, that's on, whatever's going on, there's a hole in that shadow is what I'm thinking. We're going to grab this, Control C. Now we're going to go back up here to this layer. Paste in place, gives me what I want. Don't need this anymore. We're going to go back down to the head. That anymore. So now, looks like he's got a mustache. He's been drinking milk or orange juice. Let's see, I'm going to have to change these shadows right here just because of the lighting. But that's okay. We're going to drag a line here to here. These are on the wrong layer. this, go back up here. I'm going to try to do all my work on the light highlight layer. Boink. I'm going to try to do this all up here. This is going to be entertaining. So I have to block out all of these little lines again, which is fine. Grab this little booger. So this is going to represent all the highlights from that light from below. This doesn't have to be 100% accurate, but I would like you to get it close. There we go. I'm going to put a light right there from the lips. Alright, something doesn't like me. Do we not have this on? I think those are not on. Yep, they're on now. There we go. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll do a gradient with this. So play around with it. Now we're going to do lighting on the teepees. And like I said, this will probably change my shadows on these, which is fine. But we want to make sure this all looks really good. We have light coming up, so we'll probably have a little bit of light like that. Yeah, it's totally going to change this one. That's okay, we'll work on it. There's a good spot. Some light there. We're going to go back to about here. Yeah, it's going to totally change that. That's okay. Make sure I'm not doing anything completely wacky. No, not bad at all. Just a little bit of light here, which is going to change the shadow, which is fine. Have to just kind of get in there and make it work. Probably to there. So let's do our original mask line here and here. And then we're going to go something like this. We're just roughing it out. All of this could be horribly wrong. I'm sure those of you who are better artists than I are screaming at me going, no, not like that. That's okay. You can do that. We're having fun. There. Yeah, just a little. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just a little. I think that works for me. So I'm going to, and we'll work on the shadows that are borked. What we're gonna do is remove all of the red here, and then let's do a little bit of a gradient. Oh, hey. We've got a gradient sitting around in the background here. We're going to do it from the pumpkin inside. We're going to go eye and, oh, didn't work. Because why? Oh, because we're not on that. All right, now, pink. Oh, it doesn't work because this is now a brush. That's why. Pink. Now we have it. Let's go pink. Back out and lock this down. Go back up to the head. Whoop. Highlight layer. Okay. Put that in there, but we want to make our own just a little bit. And then open it up there, just a hint. Alright, so that's the start of that. Let's zip this in here a little bit so you guys can see it better. What do you guys think about that? Just a little hint of underlighting on him. Of course, his body now needs to have that underlighting. So let's, since we still have this gradient, let's pop into here. It's a brush, and I think see how that looks. Might be too much. So let's come up with another plan. Paste in place. Oops, not what I wanted. Yeah, let's go back over here to the pumpkin insides. Sorry, pumpkin inside. Hello. Thank you. Let's get this color again because it got removed whenever we were playing around with this. And then we're going to go ahead and put that on there again. Take this off, put this on. This to here, open this up, a little bit more than that, and then we're going to turn this into a brush. Then we're going to, actually, we're just going to, where do we go? Hello, work with me. Not color effects. Nope, none. We're going to go to filters. No, that's not what I want. First of all, back to this. And why did it change colors? Color effect, none. Oh, blend. Let's do additive. Not quite what I need. Overlays, not working. Screen, not working. Multiply, nope. So I might have to do this a different way. Hard light, still not working. So that's okay. We've got other ways of doing this. We will normal, color effect. Let's do an alpha. Oops, why did it move? There we go. Alpha. Let's go ahead and take it down a little bit because I'm adding some red, and that's not going to work. Let's just want to hint at it, and that's still not working. I've got a tint on this too, so this may be a situation, which is fine, where I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn the alpha off, I'm going to copy this, and remove it from here. Then we're going to come down to the dragon body. We're going to lock everything. Insert a layer. Paste and center. Bring this where I want it. Now let's try some of those blend options to see if I can get what I want out of it. That one's not where I need it, that's for sure. Oh, that's not helpful. Overlay, not enough. Hard light, too much. Let's do normal. Let's do an alpha. And then we're going to add a filter of a blur. I'll blur the snot out of this thing. And then we're going to scale it. What the heck? I said blur the snot out of this thing. I tell you what. Right there. And we're going to scale it. Right about there. So we get a little bit of glow. Yeah, that's what we're after. A little more like that. So actually, let's just turn the alpha off completely. So I think the glow is doing the job. Or the blur is doing the job. So yeah! Alright, we're getting there. We need to do a shadow on the fingers. And we might actually be finishing this thing up. There's not a whole lot more to do other than, you know, a few spots here and there, and wispies, whatever, but I think we're there. I think we're almost completely there. So we're going to probably do a couple little backlight pieces, like we're doing here on the oh yeah, I probably need to add a little light across this right here. But yeah, I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Yeah, overall, I think we're doing pretty good. So let's do the toes real fast while we're thinking about it. I mean, we still have half an hour here to do this. I hope this works out for you guys and you're really having fun. Let's go to toes. And you know the trick. Gonna get in here. We're gonna grab everything. We're gonna come up here, see, those are claws. This is the toes. And then this will be the shadow. Let's lock everything but that layer. We're gonna paste this in place. Ta-da! Go over here and grab a color. I'm gonna do a linear gradient. And we're gonna drop that. We're gonna go black to black to transparent. Kind of sort of cool. It's not what I wanted though, but kind of sort of cool. Okay, we're doing a overall. Okay. Clearly too much, but that's a good start. And this will get an alpha. No, we're not doing advanced. We're going to do an alpha. Because there's going to be plenty of shadowing on the main here. So let's go down to toes. And we're going to lay this down in place. We're going to be using this a couple of times. So we're going to turn it red or a color. grab some colors. Ooh, that's too dark. Still too dark. That's not going to work for me. And then we know. Alrighty. Actually, I can do this. Nope, I want that. Doggone it. Alright, can't do it that way. Fine. There we go. And we will close. Get a little bit of a darker color here. I'm sorry if I'm getting quiet on you guys. Focusing. There's that. And then we'll probably get a little hint. Very little hint. Color right there. Yeah, let's rid of that. There we are. What do you guys think? I think he's almost done, if not. I mean, I could fuss with it until I, fall over from old age, but I think he's pretty doggone close. I don't know what's going on here. something to do with the shadow layer. We'll figure that out later. I mean, it's not going to show up in print. What do you guys think? We might actually, Lord forbid, have finished something on this stream. Well, while we're here, let's play around with some ideas. It's probably going to end poorly. Let's, first of all, let's add a couple of details I think we're missing. It's just way too big for me to work like this. It's the small things. All right, let's take this whole thing. And we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to blur it. We're going to add a glow around it, and we're going to make it just so there's a little more ambient. Off of him. Yeah. Just a little bit. So it's not such a stark line. Ah! We've decapitated him. There we go. Yeah. Here we are. Looks like he's drunk too much milk or orange juice, but here we are. And I think this chest piece here needs to have the lighting brought up. More of that, so it blends a little bit better. There we go. You know what, maybe we can do the same thing with that. Instead of doing a blur, let's take a look. Let's remove the blur. And let's add a glow. No, I don't think it's going to have the same effect. But we can still keep it. Just we're going to have to also add a bit of a blur. There. There. This is our Halloween dragon. What do you guys think? Doing all right for the two of you who have stayed with me today. I never know if I'm doing well or not because I look up and there's, usually, I think my peak that I've ever had at one time, well, I've had 15 as my peak, but in general, I think the highest numbers I generally have about 7 people watching at a time. And I always go, is this even of interest to people? I know it is to the few who are watching, but I always may wonder why people drop off. It's usually work, because, you know, people are at work. I can accept and understand that, but it always makes me wonder if this is even worth watching. But I'm having fun, so I'm going to still do it. Doesn't matter. But okay, here we are. What do you guys think? Working good? I'm going to play around with some pumpkins now. Back here. Far pumpkins. There they are. I'm going to do something here. I'm going to grab. Whoops. Don't want that. Nah, come on. Work with me. Oh, just got back. Yay! You're back from outer space. See? Go back out here to this main scene. And we're going to make a layer. And I'm going to paste in place. Oh, I'm gonna paste it center just so I can find the silly things. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these as a glow template. Just a little bit more. Let's turn this off for now. I'm going to turn this into a brush. We're just experimenting here. We've already experimented with a glow and how to make that more so. And I also want these to stand out a little bit. I definitely like the red more. And then we're going to add just a hint of blur. Yeah. That, hopefully, when we zoom out, will add a little more oomph to our jack-o'-lanterns, eh? So we're going to do this to the oofies now. Back out to here. And then we have the far glows. Paste in the center. Oh, he worked out just fine. And then we're going to give him the same thing. We're going to add a glow. We decided that was a good one. And just a little bit more. Don't want that much. And then we are going to give him a blur. 2. Let's go back to his glow. I think that's too much. Let's go 4. Here we go. And again, we'll. Oop. Yeah, glows a little bit more. See, compared to the guy in the far back, how much better that looks. Yeah. Now this guy back here gonna be a problem because he's so small. But we're gonna work with him. We can do a little bit more blur on him because this one is blurred, not that much blur. Let's see, everyone's 2. Let's do a 3, 2. Let's do a 2 for now. Let's add the glow. More orangey for him. And then we go back to the blur. 3. 2, I think is just fine. There we go. Now we got some glowing pumpkins. We can even have just a little bit more fun with this by doing the same effect to our front pumpkin. So let's do this. Where's our guess the far pumpkin front? There's the pumpkin front. Let's see what kind of mess we can make. And we don't like it, we can just put it back. So what I'm going to do, start with, and of course it's got to be transparent, so we're going to play around with that a little bit too. I'm going to grab this. Next one to grab. Let me fill this real fast. Let's fill it with pink so we can find it. Oh, those are the spots on the wrong thing. I want this. And then I should be able to go, okay. Glow. Grief. Fill, fill, fill. And then I want to take all of this. Give me troubles there. Let's grab this, this, and this, and this, and this. This. We're going to Control C. And we're going to get rid of this, this, and this. We're going to come back out here to our main scene. Insert a layer. Lock everything but that layer. Go paste center. Wow, computer, not doing what I asked you to do. There we go. Let's put this into place. Okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. Now, let's see if we can get a little bit of glow going on here. We're gonna lock, actually we're gonna go find the pumpkin insides. And this is a brush, so I need to get in here to grab that. It's all complicated stuff, making my life difficult. Okay, locked, but that. We're gonna go, okay, boom, said, boom. Why are you being weird? Okay, let's do it that way. Haha. And we're gonna put the F here. Whoop. Put that right about there. Now, we start playing around with this. We're gonna turn this into a brush, I believe. Wink. Main glow. We're going to deal with blending first. We're going to do some kind of overlays are cool. Really add some warmth to that. Lighten. Ooh, I like lighten. I think lighten's. Yeah, I think lighten's where it's going to be. And we're going to add a glow. We know that glow is going to be this orange. There we go. Yeah, medium. Okay, we'll go medium. Save. So I can find it later. So you can always dink around with these things. I'm done. Yeah, no, still dinking around with stuff. And add a little more to it. I think, honestly, I'd need more oranges in his underglow, or at least on his chest needs more orange. So let's see, I think dragon body. So it makes it easy to find. And we will take and find that body glow. And F. Bring some more orange into it. And then we will, to the glow, let's see, root. No, I said normal. And then clicky, clicky, there we go. Normal, blend, there's the glow. There's the glow. We're going to add more of this orange. Maybe a little less orangey. There we go. And then again, let's adjust this. There's a little more yellow, not a whole lot. There we go. Yeah. That feels better. Okay. Believe we started with this monstrosity. Ended with this. I think that's not a bad day's work. Or 3 days work. So I've only really worked on this during these streams. So this is what, part 4? So yeah, not bad. I'm kind of happy with the results. You like the way we went from the sketch to this? This is the power of being able to bring things into the computer. I'm sure with a more practiced hand I could get very similar effects with markers and paints and stuff, but I like playing around with effects in the computer. You would like to order 2 prints. Well, this has been drawn up to be an 8x10, I believe. And I currently go through Ready Comics, which has a minimum of 25 orders, which is not a big deal. They don't cost a lot to get made up. The big deal is I don't like when I do these darker pieces, they don't really come up well for them. So I might go through another vendor. That way you get better color out of them. So it might be a moment or two before I get this as a print, but it will be a print, and Lisa Lee, you're definitely down for 2. Thank you, by the way. I'm digging this. I mean, it's not where I had in my head, never is, but where it ended up is kind of nice. I was not expecting the aqua to green gradient, but that's why I like doing these things. I definitely did not expect the pink fairy. That exploded. That's beautiful. Just letting you know when they're available. I will. Apparently, I don't have a choice now because you want them. We will definitely get those out there. But we started with that sketch, which is actually, if I can make it bigger here, give me a second. Can I do that? Not really. Here we go. There we go. So we started with the sketch that's behind my head, and we ended up with this. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Wowzers, and we're even early. Well, actually, no, we're right on time because it's noon. So we finished. So what are we going to work on next time? I don't know. World's our oyster. I guess I'm going to have to work on the ABCs. Huh. That will probably be the next thing I work on next stream. We'll start working towards the ABCs of adventure. I have a few pages sketched up, so that'll keep us busy for a little bit. And then from there, we'll see where we're going to go. Gosh, this was a fun journey. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a blast. I didn't realize he was going to come out here, and I'll probably piddle with him a little bit, some age spots like we do with the pumpkin here and there, and I'll probably put some age spots on the pumpkins in the backgrounds, but overall that's pretty good. Probably some more shadows, especially on this one that's right here. I'll put a little more shadow on this one right here. But this has been a good time. Thank you guys very much for coming along this journey with me. I cannot imagine a better set of company or friends and family to have gone through this with. This was fun. This was some colors that I really like working with, and I've been wanting to do this little guy for a while. He's been sitting in the sketchbook for a very long time, so he's now reality, and it's thanks to you guys that we have some of the pops that we have in here and the direction we went, and that was fun because I had no idea where that was going to go, and you guys just went with it, and I love it. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up for now. Let's go to the big camera here. And, oh no, Jason! What? No! Hey, how you doing, man? Well, let's come back over here so you can see what we did work on. This thing behind my head is where we started. Is it that way? That way is where we ended up. Camera stuff is such a pain in the butt. Jason, I'm glad you were able to make it, though. Let's come back over here to the main camera. Thank you. Main camera. There we go. Well, like I said, I'm going to wrap this up. Pretty much done with this little guy, other than just a little tweak here, tweak there. I guarantee you by the time, from this moment to the time it actually gets in print, there will probably be little micro changes here and there, because that's what I do. But I'm happy with where he is. I'm very, very pleased with the colors and everything of it overall. So again, I couldn't think of a better group of people to have done this with, and the audience participation part of this has been fun. Pushed me in directions I would have never gone. So, in the meanwhile, I want you guys to understand that you are loved. I love you. You are loved by those around you. You are deserving of being loved. So don't push it away. This world is hard enough as it is. Don't beat yourself up over it. Okay? I want you guys to have an amazing day, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you for everything. Until then, take care, guys.